Hello and welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of sports. And as we continue to go around the NFL division by division for our season previews, we take a stop at the AFC South. Tim, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it. AFC South, baby. Let's run it.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to the Houston Texans to start us off. After a 4-13 record, I don't know what they're doing. They just slowly drift off into the abyss of wherever the heck they're heading. They have Davis Mills at quarterback, which should be interesting. He showed a lot of upside last year. He showed some flashes. And the good thing about the Texans is that they're so bad that a lot of rookies have the opportunity to make an impact this year, with Damian Pierce at running back, Kenyon Green on the offensive line, Christian Harris at linebacker, Derek Stingley at corner, and Jalen Petre at safety. But with that being said, there's really not that much interesting about this Houston Texas team other than they don't have Deshaun Watson anymore, 3-14.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, they made minor additions to a team that really didn't have a whole lot to begin with. I'm not very big on Marlon Mack because I think coming off that Achilles injury is just not going to be the same type of running back that he was before. And I don't think he really fixes that much at that running back position for him.
I don't think that was designed to do that, though.
No, and that's fair. But regardless, I don't see much happening from it. And their wide receiving core outside of Brandon Cooks is next to none. So realistically, I like the addition of Stingley in the draft. I think he has the ability to help that defense, but certainly not enough. So I've got him going a whopping 2-15.
Woohoo! Neither of us are high on the Texans. So let's go to Indianapolis and the Colts, where that's the closest team to us geographically.
And they're in for a very interesting season.
We will have a lot of fun covering and watching them because after a 9-8 record last year where a playoff spot was very much in their grasp, Carson Wentz happened. And then you snap your fingers and Carson Wentz is in Washington and now Matt Ryan is your quarterback. Yeah, which that's their fifth starting quarterback in 5 years. But I think that Matt Ryan is the best that they've had since Andrew Luck. And let's not forget that Matt Ryan can ball. Even though he's a little bit older, that supporting cast was really bad in Atlanta last year. And I think people forgot how...
Especially once you lost Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I think people forgot how good Matt Ryan is. And I think now that he has a supporting cast that's his best in a few years, this offense should be improved. Jonathan Taylor had a really great season last year, which was obvious. Michael Pittman has emerged, and they picked up Alec Pierce in the draft, who should really help on the outside. And the defense is good, too. They have veteran leaders at every important level. DeForest Buckner on the line, Shaquille Leonard at linebacker. Don't call him Darius. He's Shaquille Leonard. And they signed Stephon Gilmore to head that cornerback room. So this is really the Colts division to lose. I have them at 11-6 with the AFC South championship in hand. And let's be real. If Matt Ryan goes down, they're going to win the Super Bowl because their backup quarterback is Nick Foles. Yeah.
You know Nick Foles is a backup. But yeah, this team has all the makings now for a particularly electric offense, which is something that they've been missing over the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
I think Ryan absolutely has a good amount of decent football left in the tank. And with the weapons around him, now you talk about the receiving core, there's a bit to be wished for in terms of those guys, but I do like Michael Pittman, and I think that the use of him in the deep game is going to be a great pairing with Matt Ryan, because that's one of the things that Matt Ryan does best, as well as the fact that all of a sudden you give Matt Ryan arguably the top running back in the league, and all of a sudden
arguably.
Yes, arguably. You can make arguments for quite a few guys, but he's one of the best running backs in the league, and that opens up the play action game, which is also one of the things that Matt Ryan thrives with the best. And I think that has the opportunity to open up the field a lot. And we already know how good this defense can be. Now they've done a little bit of retooling and shifting stuff around over the last couple of years, but it's still a very serviceable unit that can get things done, especially if their offense puts them in a better situation than they have in a lot of the past couple of years. So I really actually like this team, and I absolutely agree that this is their division to win as well. I've got them as high as 12-5 this year. Now that you could see some hiccups along the way in the Matt Ryan first year in the offense type thing, but I still believe that this team has all of the pieces to put together a very solid season and actually crack the playoffs in such a talented AFC.
Yeah, Indianapolis on that Matty Ice type beat. Let's go to Duval County in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh man.
What do you got on Jacksonville, Tim?
No more Urban Meyer?
No more Urban Meyer. Doug Peterson is their head coach now.
Yeah, realistically, I want to think that there should be improvements.
That sigh was deafening and spoke volumes at the same time.
I want to say that there will be improvements because I think in some of the actual position-wise, sure, I think they have made some upgrades, but in the way that the overall team is, I just don't know if it's there yet. I still think that there's a lot of positions and just a lot of, honestly, team chemistry and team makeup that needs to still be improved. And I'll be honest, not huge on Doug Peterson as a head coach, despite him winning a Super Bowl. I don't think he specifically and his style of coaching and the type of coach that he is the guy that you need to rebuild a struggling team. I like ETN coming back. I think he'll be able to take over and actually become a front runner for this backfield. It's going to be tough to see what James Robinson is able to do coming back off of that injury. Achilles are just always really, really tough, and I don't know if he's really going to be quite as explosive as he once was. The wide receiver room,
Christian Kirk, take my pesos.
Because realistically, they weren't in that bad of a situation last year, but that didn't pan out very well. And I don't
have a feature receiver.
I don't think throwing a ton of money at Christian Kirk solves your problem.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I completely agree. It's Christian Kirk and Marvin Jones and Laquan Treadwell, I think.
I believe you're correct, but yeah, there's just not a whole lot that I find that's promising in this team, and for that reason, I've got them stuck at the bottom once again at 2-15.
You know, Tim, I will say this. The Jaguars have the rookie with the best name in this draft class at Gunnar Snoop. And if not a feature back in this offense, he should get playing time because a guy named Gunnar Snoop deserves playing time.
Might have to cop a Gunnar Snoop jersey.
Exactly. Hey, if I can't throw money getting a Mitch Trubisky jersey, why should you get a Gunnar Snoop jersey?
Fair enough, but Gunnar Snoop.
But yeah, that's true. That's all the reason you need. So more on Jacksonville. The defense should be the backbone of this team because they did get some good pieces. They got Folorunso Futakasi. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. It's a mouthful, but he was good last year. So was Foyesade Aluakon. Yeah. So was Foyesade Aluakon, a name I actually do know how to pronounce. They got Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd in the draft. They signed Darius Williams, and they also have Shaquille Griffin at the corner.
Don't forget about Brick Hands Evan Ingram.
Yeah, they did get Evan Ingram, but like it's also Evan Ingram. And for that reason and that reason only, literally only that reason, I have them at 3-14. No, obviously other reasons.
It's Evan Ingram.
But yeah,
Jacksonville Evan Ingrams.
I'm largely on the same page as you. So we'll wrap it up by going to the Tennessee Titans, who after getting the first seed in the AFC last year at 12-5, it was very much a roller coaster that kind of fell off the rails. And
it was a bit of a crash and burn in that divisional round.
Yeah, it was definitely a crash and burn. AJ Brown is now gone. Derrick Henry is
Derrick Health.
He's getting older. And his Derrick Health.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for them to keep running him through endless brick walls. Like
Derrick's health is Derrick question marks, but Ryan Tannehill is their quarterback, and albeit he's been good, how far can he really take this team? They drafted Malik Willis for a reason, and I expect enough regression from this Titans team that they fall out of the playoff picture. I have them at 10-7 and missing the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I do still see Derrick Henry being healthy for at least a large majority of the
Derek's
season.
health.
Granted, yes, we are all about Derek's health here on the Running the Table podcast. But
Absolutely, we want him to stay healthy. We want everybody to stay healthy if they can.
And I think their wide receiving core is interesting with the addition of Robert Woods along with drafting Traylon Burks. It's going to be interesting. I think they still have a particularly solid team, and for that reason, I don't have them dropping that much. I only have them dropping to 11-6, which in this case still does make them miss the playoffs. But I mean,
I don't know what's going on in your AFC, but like,
just wait till we get to the West, my boy.
Oh boy. Well, that's a good segue, because now that we're done with the AFC South, we're going to the West next with the NFC and AFC to round it out. We have covered all of the divisions in football so far. We're going to cover all of them in the future. So if you want more stuff from us, like and subscribe. We'll be coming at you with a lot of football content. And until next time, we out.